All right, hey y'all, it is Professor Mays. I'm so excited to work with you all this semester for your social work 399 class, for field practicum, for your junior field practicum. I'm so excited for us to be able to work together this semester and really just be able to do this work together. I wanted to create a quick video since we're not having class this Friday because things are so truncated and kind of quick for us to review the syllabus really quickly. We'll do kind of a more in-depth and I will answer some questions in our next class on February the 7th. But I wanted to make sure that I got you all at least some information so you're not reading a 25-page document and you have no idea what's going on. So we're going to overview the things that you all kind of need to really pay attention to now, the things you need to get on your calendar, on your schedule, the things you need to get in your books, like where do you need to be reading, what do you need to be doing. This syllabus will be linked in the email that I send you, and then once we get Canvas access, or once I get Canvas access, this will be updated so that you all have everything that you need already in Canvas. My apologies for the lateness and tardiness of me being added to Canvas. It's been kind of a whirlwind, just getting the semester started up and, campus kind of closing down for a couple of days. So bear with us as we do this. I'm going to do my absolute best to pick up things and just make sure that we close in any gaps that we can. But if you have any questions, you can always book some time to meet with me for office hours if you need to. Okay. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go over the syllabus and I'm going to give you any tips and tricks that I can think of. And when we talk next week, I expect you all to come with questions. Hopefully, I have the answers and we'll go from there. So, I'm going to share my screen. Cool. I'm going to share my screen. All right, y'all. So here's the syllabus for this semester. As I said before, you will get this in your email inbox today as you are watching this video. If you're watching it, it's in your email, in your attachments. And you also have this video from me to supplement anything that you're reading. So this is our syllabus for the semester. Like I said, it's 20 pages long, so I want to kind of hit the space where we need to be for right now. And so, things to know if you're looking at Social Work 399, you're in the right place. If you see my name, my phone number, my email, that phone number is for students only. So, I ask that students, if you're going to text me, you introduce yourself. Hey, this is Lanise from your Social Work 399 class, so that I know who I'm talking to and so that I don't get confused. Okay. Some of the course descriptions, it's my job to make sure that you get at least 150 clock hours for this class. This is your junior field practicum. It's 3 credit hours. And my job is to make sure that we integrate what you're doing in the field into what you actually do in practice. Okay. Important things. Once again, 14 hours, 2 full days for 13 weeks, which total 150 clock hours. Okay. I know that they said that you have to do a minimum of 14 hours. If I was you, I would probably try to stretch it to 15, maybe even 16 if you can, if your placements will let you, or if you got to stay an extra hour every once in a while because emergencies may happen. Right? Things may happen and you may have to call out a day or you may get sick or something may happen that will, really you're going to struggle to get that 150 hours. So I don't want you all to be sitting here at the end of the semester trying to figure out, okay, I have 30 hours. I need to figure out where I'm going to get them from. And instead, I want you to prepare. Right. And so you might want to get a little overzealous at the front end of it just in case something happens on the back end. Okay. This class runs concurrently with all your other junior classes, so hopefully the other things that you're also learning in your classes will be helpful to you and you will be able to just have everything that you need, know what you're kind of here for. I'm here to support you and we'll be able to do things together. All these program goals and specific competencies we'll talk about in our next class. Some of the course benchmarks that we have is you do have some process recordings and I'll train you all on what those are. You have, this says 160 clock hours, but it's 150 clock hours. You have to do your working contract, which I'll talk about here in a little bit and walk you all through Tavera just a little bit on how to access things. You also have to do a learning plan, conference agendas, which are your agendas for your conferences when you're talking to the person who's on site. So I want you to think about conference agendas like my meeting agendas, and you have to turn those in weekly. You will also have a 5 to 7 page macro level agency analysis. That's not going to be terribly difficult, but I do want you all to be looking at the data. We'll walk through those assignments. And I'm here once again to support you. So I know that all of this may sound like I'm talking about a bunch of things you have no idea how to do, but that's what I'm here for. So we're going to do it all together. And then we'll have in-class discussions, some role plays. We'll talk about a bunch of things that's actually going on in your internships and, just making sure that we get you set up as best as we possibly can. These are the course competencies that we're required to paste from the Council on Social Work Education. This is a super important part to pay attention to, the method of evaluation. So, what your grades will be based on, right? Class participation is 20% of your grade. That means come on time, be prepared to engage, be prepared to ask questions, right? Cell phones kind of down and out the way, and we're just gonna get through it. But like, it's only a 50-minute class. I promise you, you can be without your cell phone for 50 minutes unless it's a life or death emergency. But that's worth 20% of your grade, right? And it's only 9 of us, so, well, 10 of us with me. So I know if you're participating in class or not. Okay. Your conference agendas, right? I said those are your meeting agendas with your on site supervisor. That's that, and your participation and professionalism, along with like in all of these areas we need participation and professionalism, but your conference agendas and your timesheets need to also be professional as well, and that's worth 15% of your grade. That's a weekly Tavera submission. Your working contract rubric is worth 5% of your grade. That's a Tavera submission. That's due by February 9th. I extended that out a little bit, a couple days. Your learning contract is due February 14th. We'll talk heavily about this in your next class, and I might even pair you all up to really look at your working contracts. That's due February 14th in Tavera. I would encourage you to bring your laptops, your iPads to class because you're going to need to access Tavera, but I wouldn't encourage you necessarily to bring your cell phone. If your cell phone is the only option that you have in terms of accessing Tavera, then sure, but it's not going to be easy to access any of the information on the site. Your field practicum self-reflection journal is due February 28th, right? That's on Canvas. Okay. Your mid-semester evaluation and site visits, I'll be doing those between February 21st and March 7th, which means that by March 7th, the evaluation has to be from your end, has to be uploaded to Canvas, okay? There's no exceptions around that. These dates are firm. Okay, I'm not extending things unless folks have accommodations, but these are firm dates, and that's a pass fail, meaning if you don't get it done in on time, that's an automatic fail. And if you are failing halfway through your field practicum, then we have to have a conversation about whether you can even continue to be in your internship and in your field practicum. Okay. There is number 7 is a macro agency analysis, right? And macro is big legislation, policies, procedures, things like that. And so there's an assignment that you have to do that you evaluate the large scale, the full size of the agency that you're at with all of these metrics and numbers and data. And it's a really fun assignment to do. If you like to investigate or get curious about things, that will be due April 4th. So you have quite a bit of time between your mid-semester evaluation and your agency evaluation for us to really talk about what your agency evaluation even is. You also have process recordings, and those are when you do what you do an assignment and then you record and dictate how the assignment went and even your feelings towards how you were processing through those things. So I'll talk more about that when that assignment comes up. That's due April 18th. And then your final field evaluation and visit will be between April 28th and May 7th. Okay. These are the big assignments that we have for this class. It's going to seem like a lot, but this is essentially like a one-off every single week kind of assignment. And so it's not requiring for you to do something every single time you come to class. It's not requiring for you to come to class 2 or 3 days a week. It's one day a week, 50 minutes. We're gonna get really in depth and go really hard for 50 minutes, and you got assignments due pretty consistently. So this is a pretty heavily self-tracking kind of class. And we're gonna talk on the 7th of February about cohorts and about the importance of like knowing the people in the room, sharing space with the people in the room, and everybody kind of getting together. And if y'all know assignments to do, sending those out to other people, all of those sorts of things. Just keeping each other accountable. We're going to talk a lot about that. Some other things to note, confidentiality is super important. Anything that's said in the classroom stays in the classroom. That means that people disclose things about their internships, if they disclose things about their personal journeys in life, if they disclose that they're having a hard, week or whatever, anything that's said in our space that we share together, it has to remain in this space. It's a safe space for people. I want all the students, I want you all to come in and know that this is a safe space for you. And I want you to continue to do things that promote safety among other classmates as well. I'm a mandated reporter, but that's, we'll talk about that later as well. Here's our grading scale criteria for the class. It's a 10-point grading scale, meaning anywhere from a 100 to a 90 is an A, anywhere from an 89 to an 80 is a B, so on and so forth, okay? I would love for each and every one of y'all to stay in this A-B range. That's it. No exceptions. That's it. I don't want you all to be in pass fail. I want everyone in this A-B range and in this pass range when we're talking about, your site visits and things like that. But I want everyone to be in the know and have what they need. Okay? I'm going to switch gears here just a little bit because I want to show you all the textbook that you should be using. I have access to it. The textbook that you should be using for this class is the Human Services Internship textbook, and it's going to be on your syllabus as well. But you should have access to this textbook. If you don't have access to it, please let me know as soon as possible so that we can find a way to get you access to this textbook. But you're looking for the Human Resources Internship 4th edition, okay? This is also the ISBN number where you can find the book that's pasted in your syllabus, but you need this book. Okay. Every single week, you'll also have readings that come from this book. And this really harps in on what's important to know about the human service experience and internship. Our slides will come from here. A lot of our discussions will come from here. So you need this book in e-textbook format and hardcover textbook format. However you get access to it, you absolutely need it. Okay. Please do not think you can get through this class without this textbook. Y'all, if you got to partner up with a friend and y'all got to read it together, however that works, you need access to this text. Okay. Other things you'll need is an APA manual, which you should kind of have already. I'm not really as hard on the APA manual. Your writing does have to be APA, but you can use APA Style Guide and a couple of other websites in order to get your APA pretty square. The APA manual, I feel like, makes things kind of difficult for no reason. So I like using APA Style Guide. It's by the APA, and you can look up how to have your cover pages, how to have your formatting. You can look all that sort of stuff up right there online. Okay. The other thing that you absolutely need to do, and I put this in your instructions in your email that also has this video in it, is you need to read your field manual. You need to know why you're in field, what's going on in field, ask any questions, and that link is right here. Okay. You need to read this. You need to read your textbook. You need to read your field manual. You need to have access to the APA style guide. That is how we are going to get through this class. If you do not read your field manual and you do not do something correctly, I cannot protect you because I instructed you to read it. Okay. Once again, all assignments have to be completed in either Canvas or Tavera for grading. Like you do not have any, do not email it to me, do not pass go unless something is absolutely wrong. Please make sure your assignments get uploaded to the correct place they're supposed to be uploaded to in the correct time manner that they're supposed to be uploaded to. Please do not wait until the last minute because your computer will crash, something weird will happen. Somebody's going to send me an email that says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry I slept. I was supposed to get up at 8:30 to submit my assignment by 11:59. I ended up sleeping all night long." Do the assignment early, okay? Late penalties for me are pretty heavy. So we'll talk about that rubric when we meet on the 7th, but I want you all to make sure that you know to do that. Okay? Just turn your assignments in on time. This is your like some of the things that we'll talk about in this class, some of the organizational things that we'll talk about in this class. Super duper, super important. Everybody gets a couple of times to miss class from me before it starts to impact your grade. But the bigger part about it is it's a one Friday 50-minute class. And so if you miss a class because we're rolling so fast, the chances that you'll miss something really important is very, very high. So I want to encourage you to come to class early. Be prepared to engage in class on time. And we'll try our best to get out there smack on time so that you don't miss your other classes going forward. Okay? I want to respect your time, but I equally expect you to respect mine. Okay? I'm also going to transition to talking about like Tavera things here in a little bit, but your conference agendas and timesheets have to be submitted on Tavera, your working contract, your learning contract, all the things I just talked about earlier, right? This is your assignment for your macro agency analysis. We'll actually physically go over these things when it's time for the assignment, just so that I don't confuse you now. It looks like it's a lot of steps. Really, as long as you follow these like Roman numerals, you will be good as golden. Like as long as your section 5 says implementation of new procedures and that whole section says that, that's how you know that you're going to get an assignment decently right, is if you use your headers appropriately. Okay. Your process recordings we'll talk about as well during class. That's when record a meeting that you have, like I said, and dictate it. And then you talk about some of the things you were thinking, some of the places you wanted to go. But it's based off of your agency. And we do have to talk about confidentiality clauses and all those other things. Some other things to note. I'm going to scroll through all of this. This says no unexcused absences, right? And so this means that if you're going to be absent, you have to notify me before class. Like, do not just not come to class. But if you're sick or something like that, okay, right? But if you start to miss class, we're going to have a real serious conversation about whether or not you can continue even your internship, because you have to come to class in order to come to your internship. Okay. Very important thing for me to also note in this like accommodations space, right? Accommodations start the day you disclose. And that is based off of your approval with the Students with Disabilities Program and Memorial Hall. So your accommodation doesn't start when you tell me, "Hey, I need extra time on my assignment." Your accommodation starts when you get an accommodation approval and you disclose that accommodation approval to me. You send that to me via email. The Students with Disabilities Program can also send it to me via email. This is exactly where you need to go, right here labeled in this syllabus. You need to go there if you need accommodations, because they and or you, and I would prefer that it's you, need to disclose to me that you need accommodations. Now, accommodations have to be reasonable and acceptable. Okay. What does reasonable and acceptable mean? That means that if you're asking me if you could turn your work in 6 weeks later, even though you have an accommodation for it, I cannot do that. I can give you an additional couple of days. I can't give you an additional couple of weeks, right? The reason is because you won't finish your class on time. And I can't submit a grade of an incomplete for you if you don't finish your class on time, because you might not have been passing at the time. And that's the rules around accommodations and around submitting paperwork and things like that. And so get your accommodations yesterday if you need accommodations, and make sure that you disclose them and send them to me. Okay. That way we can meet up. We can talk about what I can do, and I can adjust things on Canvas and on Tavera based off of what you need accommodations for and what we can do together. If you do not disclose your accommodations to me until week 14, your accommodations start week 14. They're not backdated accommodations. They start the day you disclose. not a day before. And so if you don't disclose early, then you risk having some trouble coming down the road. Okay. Let's see. Scroll through all this. Okay, great. You'll get to your, this is a tentative class schedule. This can be edited at any time. Okay. And this is on page 8 through like, I think 12. But this says what we're going to do each week. This, if you don't print out anything else from your syllabus, you need to print out your tentative class schedule and you need to print out your assignments. But if you take this information, you know I'm supposed to be reading chapter 1, right? That's what you're supposed to be reading for next week. Or I'm supposed to be reading chapter 2 the following week. I need to make sure that I have my weekly supervision conference turned in on Friday, agenda turned in on Friday. I need to make sure that I have, my stuff in Tavera by set. Like you need to schedule things. I need y'all looking at these dates and I need you to know them. Okay. Take it, put it in your calendar, put it in your Google Calendar, invite your auntie to it, invite your cousins to it, make sure they keep you accountable, invite your other classmates. Somebody start one and then share it with 5 other people. Do whatever it is you need to do to keep everybody on track. Okay, these are not group assignments, but some group work would help in this instance. Okay. Those are the biggest things that I need you all to pay attention to before we come back to class on the 7th. So when you come back to class on the 7th, I hope that everybody has watched this video and has really taken the time out to look at the syllabus, because if you start asking me questions that I say I already reviewed, I'm just going to tell you to come back and look at the video, because we did all this work together and I don't, we got to talk about if you need clarity or whether you didn't really read the syllabus. Okay. Light and love as always. Please reach out to me if you need me. I know that this video is decently long, but this is your syllabus overview. Oh, actually, I do have one more thing that I need to review, and that is to Vera. So let me do that. So Tavera is your program management system for your internship. This is where you turn in all of your documents. This is where you turn in everything that you need for yourself. This is what your student dashboard looks like. Sorry, Shayla, that I put out your information, but this is what your student dashboard looks like. Everybody's is different, and it has where you're placed, what you have going on, and then for me, because I can see this from the student side, let me see, yeah, because I can see this from the student side, I get the opportunity to see what document you turned in, what assignment you turned in, but you need to log into Tavera yesterday. You need to log into this thing ASAP. If you need any help on how to navigate Tavera, there's a cute little help feature right here on the right hand side that has some tutorials on things so that you can access what you need. If you do not have access to Tavera yet, please, please, please reach out to me so that I can get you access. Okay? With that being said, light and love as always. Once again, I will see you all on Friday, next Friday, February 7th. And please come prepared and ready because we're going to have a good time. Okay. Let me know if you need me. I'm always around. You can book office hours with me. You can shoot me an email that says, hey, I don't have any clue about what's going on. I listened to your almost 30-minute video and I'm not any clearer. My recommendation for you would be get this syllabus out of your computer and onto paper and start highlighting and writing some things down if you can. Okay. I will talk to you all on the 7th. Please let me know if you need me in the in between. See you soon. Have a good one. Bye.